Hello there, everybody. So this is Raziel trying to come back. I know I've been gone again for a good period of time, and I thought I'd make this video to explain what was going on. I mean, there's nothing dire. It's been interesting. For those who've seen my earlier videos, at the end of January, first week of February, I came back from a job trip. I was in Illinois for a month. I was there during that insane cold snap where if the wind hit, it was actually negative 50 degrees, which was surprisingly even colder than Antarctica. And as I stated before, without the wind, negative 11 actually is nothing. It's no different than negative 30 to me. I was fine. But once that wind got you, you need to get inside. And I was fine. That was cool. Once I came home, however, about a week later, all of a sudden, my immune system lost its mind, and I had gotten pretty sick. If you had seen I believe it was one of my Jump Force episodes, I had a blanket on the entire time because I was freezing. Might have been a bit dramatic, but anybody who knows me knows that if I'm wearing a blanket because I'm stating that it's cold, something is definitely wrong. And luckily, in time, that did get better. I mean, I was actually much sicker than I led on because I didn't want to just make that whole gaming video about how bad I was. But, I mean, colds don't usually last too long for me. I mean, something serious would have to happen to the point. After that cold, I was actually okay for about a week. And then I made a foolish choice, but at the time it had seemed worth it. I mean, not saying it wasn't worth it what I was doing, it was just, anyway. I have a very severe allergy towards animals, mainly dogs and cats, which sucks because I love animals, and I'm that guy that if something, let's just say a furry cat walks up to me, gives me that poor, sad, pathetic face, I have to pet it. I just know better that before I touch anything, especially my face, I better wash my hands. And usually if that's the case, it's like a 2-hour limit before I might start sneezing badly or my face might start swelling up. I have those reactions where it look like my face is breaking out, but they're not actual pimples. It looks like some weird mosquito bites all over my face. I don't know what the dander does to me. It is not pleasant. But once I get away from the animal, about 4 or 6 hours later, in a shower, I'm usually good. Well, I went somewhere where there was a cat, and I knew the cat was there, but I just decided to not touch the cat, because I knew I wanted to stay there for a good period of time. So, this was my choice. I chose to stay there longer. I just figured, cool, if I don't touch the cat, no matter what, I'll be good. Seemed like it made sense at the time, but of course, this is a house that has had this cat day in, day out. The cat's been everywhere. Genius, the dander is everywhere, and that's what affects me. So instead of staying for just my 2-hour limit, I stayed for 7 hours. I was actually okay up until that 7th hour. That's when I started coughing, sneezing. It was when I started coughing that I knew something was up because I've never been affected so much that I started coughing. So, I thanked everybody for having me over. It was a great time, and I left, went home. I figured, no big deal. Go home, clear the lungs out, I'll be good. I was not good. That Saturday, the entire Sunday following, and the Monday after that, I literally did nothing but cough that entire time. I mean, at least the sneezing stopped, but the coughing became so severe that it wasn't exactly exploding head syndrome. If you look it up, it's that's all I kept thinking of was because I was coughing so hard, my head felt like it was going to burst. I mean, it wasn't like I was hearing gunshot. It was like, it literally felt like if I didn't hold on to my head, which I ended up doing sometimes, my head felt like it would have just ruptured. And aside from the headaches, I mean, I was coughing so hard that it was closing my eyes so hard I actually started tearing from that. And of course, with all that coughing, breathing was very difficult. I mean, those 3 days Those 3 days were quite painful, and that was just the start. Once that Monday had came, it was actually a good friend of mine, Kiki, who got on my butt and told me about where's my inhaler. Shouldn't I have an inhaler? Because aside from for having allergies, I'm also asthmatic. But for years, almost 2 decades, I have never needed an inhaler. Only one point, about 10 years ago, I worked at this very dirty warehouse. Ironically enough, it was a medical warehouse. But nevertheless, it got to the point that I was wheezing. No coughing, no sneeze or nothing, so I got the basic mask and I was good. I even got the inhaler, but I never needed it. This is why I hardly ever have one, because when I do get them, I never need it, thing expires, waste of money. There have been moments in my life where I've had severe asthma attacks, whether it be from somebody smoking, somebody's animal that they just kept shoving in my face, or something. I mean, that's how bad my senses are. I'm that sensitive to this stuff that if even somebody were to blow a puff of smoke in my face, I better get somewhere clean real quick to breathe, otherwise I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. That said, you can't make the world adapt to you. You have to adapt to the world. Excuse me. Anyway, so what it ended up happening was I listened to my friend, went to the doctor, and after 20 years, I finally got one of these suckers. And I was using it every 4 hours. Of course, then I find out 3 weeks later, this was actually a rescue inhaler, not a maintaining one. But I still use this thing religiously until I thought I was getting better. Excuse me. I thought I was getting better because my coughs were weaning down. I thought, wonderful, this is almost on its way out. Because it wasn't a congestion cough. If I coughed, nothing came up. It was just my lungs were inflamed. I mean, there's nothing I could do. But what ended up happening was whenever I went to work, I still work in a warehouse, not the same one, but let's face it, all warehouses have their share of dust, mold, and anything that can mess your body up. And for the last 3 weeks, I had actually still been going to work every day, doing my job as best as I could, but because of everything, I was still coughing immensely. I was coughing to the point that I'd have to stop my machine and get off it because I would be coughing so hard I would be brought to my knees. I was in so much pain. It wasn't just the fact that I couldn't breathe. I mean, my throat was searing because with all that coughing, I was scraping up my throat. I was coughing so hard that my muscles, we have a physical therapy lady at my job who is fantastic, who literally explained that because of the coughing, my muscles were spasming. I already have abnormally tight muscles, as I've been told, but the coughing was actually making that worse. I could barely stretch in any direction without feeling pain, not discomfort, actual pain. I mean, and of course, even though when I was at home it was a little bit better, it didn't help when I went to sleep. I also happen to have sleep apnea, and even with my machine, I would wake up in the middle of the night coughing because I couldn't breathe. I mean, it just wasn't pleasant. I haven't been in that much pain since 2004. And that's a story for another day if I should choose to tell it, but it was a bit of an eye-opener for a lot of things. But some of the things that I've definitely come to appreciate is having good people forgive me. I am getting better, but my muscles are still really tight to the point that sometimes I swear it feels like if I move a certain way, something's gonna break. I mean, even going to sleep at times isn't that great. But I'm gonna get to this. That stuff. Sleep has actually definitely gotten better. But sorry. So when it comes to appreciating people, I definitely want to give a shout out to 3 of my family members in particular. My mother above all else. I love my mother. She always tells you like it is, no filter. Have to respect that. She will tell you exactly what's on her mind and not be apologetic for it. I love that about her. And recently, anybody who's been following my Instagram knows that I've been rearranging my apartment for the past month, which may sound an insane amount of time, but people who know me knows I have way too much crap. I've been spring cleaning ever since March. Despite the coughing, I'm still just been throwing stuff out, and I still have more stuff. If you look behind me right now, those 2 chests were actually in boxes for 2 years that I got for free from my job. But this room I turned into a storage room. Eventually I'll probably do a nice little tour around what I've done with this place once I'm done with this place. I've still got closets full of boxes and bins that need to be emptied. So much paperwork. I'm finding stuff dating back to 1998 when I was in high school. Off the point. But I want to thank my mother because aside from being there for me, which she always is, and I love her for it, she recently gave me a few gifts. A few extra pieces of furniture, things that I did not have before, and even replaced my old crappy bed, which for a while I hadn't slept in my bed for almost 2 years. I never knew why. I didn't fear the bed. I ended up choosing to sleep on these crappy broken futons or armchairs, and finally I just came to realize, yeah, my mattress is a shame. I mean, I could say much more colorful words, but I choose not to. Sorry, kids. Anyway, ever since I got that bed, I've actually been sleeping better. Like these past few weeks, with all this coughing and barely breathing, as soon as I got home from work, I did nothing but sleep. I don't think I've slept this much. The most I've slept these past 3 weeks, don't think I've slept that much the past 3 years. So, at least there's one benefit. To finally get this completely out of my system, aside from the inhaler, I actually upped my basic doctor appointment. We all get them, your basic checkups, all that stuff. Up to 3 weeks and had him check me out. Bright side, the lungs are clear, but everything that's going on is right in here. Did not mean for that to rhyme. Anyway, he actually prescribed me these lovely steroids, which I admit, I've been feeling better, but he did warn me. I am a type 2 diabetic. The downside to these steroids is it will jack up my blood sugar, which I found out officially the other day when I just woke up, did a test. Usually I'm around 97 to 110, and that sucker was 245. After a quick panic attack, I realized, oh yeah, he warned me. But that's fine. Once these steroids are done, go back to my eating regimen, drinking plenty of water, I will be good. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a headache. So, as I was saying, forgive me. I want to thank my mother for always being there for me. I know that you've been worried about me because of this, and I'm sorry to have scared you. I mean, obviously I didn't tell you fully just how much pain I was in. I mean, there were days where as soon as I got home from work, I would just fall into the chair and not move, because just to move would be so painful that it would just bring me to tears, and I would just feel like my body was going to fall apart. And that was before the coughing started. Once the coughing got started, I couldn't move. That's how bad it was. But, you know how I am. I just muscled through it, and I was good. With family, I'd also like to thank my Aunt Barbara and Uncle Eddie, especially this past weekend. You two helped me out so greatly with the last of those pieces of furniture. My Uncle Eddie could tell you, at the time, it was just me and my mother until we had asked them. I didn't think to ask them. Not used to asking people for help so much. Kind of weird like that. But these furniture pieces were not light. And all I kept thinking was, as long as I can get on my back, I'll be fine. And he joked about how I wouldn't be able to move for a couple days. He did it lightheartedly, just like I do, but truth be told, if I had done it myself, I definitely would be in more pain. So I thank you greatly. I love all three of you. 2 other people that I definitely want to thank, especially given these past 3 weeks. The one friend I mentioned earlier, Kiki, who has no problem getting into my butt about something. I mean, she is, without a doubt, one of my dearest friends. She's kind of like my mother. She has no filter. She does not care. She would tell you like it is and not be apologetic about it. And that's cool. I mean, at least you know where she stands. I mean, we all need more people like that. That first weekend when I was practically trying my damnedest to breathe, she was there. I mean, it wasn't her intention to be there to look out for me. We were just hanging out, but still, seeing how bad I was coughing, instead of just up and leaving, she was there the whole time. And I greatly appreciate you for that. I will never take your friendship for granted. The other person I want to thank is somebody who came back into my life a few years ago, actually. Carissa, you know where I'm going with this. Since you've come back into my life, just like Kiki and my mother, you have always just said it like it was. You never played games, you never toyed around, you always said what the deal was. You brought my mind into perspective about a lot of stuff. And you've helped me through a lot of things that I haven't shared with anybody. I mean, I'll be honest, I guess it felt comfortable sharing it with you because you're on the other side of the country. But at the same time, you have done so much for me. And along with my family, you have been my biggest supporter with these videos that I've been doing. I mean, anytime I post on Twitter or something, you're the first one to like it. You have no problem giving me tips or words of encouragement to keep me going. And I love you greatly for that. I mean, you are without a doubt one of my dearest friends, and I will always be grateful to have you in my life. And like Kiki, I will never take you for granted. Who knows, maybe one day we might get to meet up and do a collaboration about something. But one of the things that I definitely want to thank you by doing is my friend Carissa is an amazing author. She actually, I mean, I knew she had talent back in college because of some of her work I've seen her do, but when she got into actual writing, which is one of my fields, I definitely paid attention. And 2 years ago, she published her first book. I'm not going to lie. I like what I've read so far. 2 years, I know, terrible friend. But, I mean, one of the things I want to do soon are book reviews. Now, the first book I'm going to review is called Witchling by Yasmin Galenorn. It's one of my favorite authors. But I definitely want to review her book for all of you so you know what an amazing imagination this woman has. I mean, just for example, it's a 15-chapter book, but it's around 500 pages. That's quite a story. And she's created her own language, races. It's an amazing world. And I've only got through chapter 1, but even then I am still compelled. I still remember all the characters. Sorry, I've been talking way too long. But I just want to let everybody know that I'm coming back. You can probably still hear it in my voice. I mean, I'm getting much better, but my voice is still a bit scratchy. I mean, even now, my throat is still pretty, it feels like I swallowed a bunch of, sewing needles and just gargled with sand. But I'm getting much better. And I hope to do better with these videos soon. The animated one I was talking about, I'm actually working on that right now. Obviously, everything's been pushed back a bit while I was trying to get better. And things will be coming soon. Sorry for the delay, but at least hopefully I'm back for good. So I hope everybody is having a pleasant week, and I will see you all again soon. But until then, take care.